Going to start now. Hello, we are here back again in Scioto at the West Prairie High School gym, about a minute and a half here away from start of game time. Tonight's junior high volleyball matchup is between the 7th grade Lady Cyclones and the 7th grade Lady Rockets of Rushville Industry. This is the third game in a row here in Scioto. Getting a lot of use out of this gym here in a very short period of time, now that all sports have the pretty much green light to go in these COVID times. About a minute away here from the start of this match. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in once again tonight to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I am Ethan Hunt. I'll be giving some commentary over this volleyball game here tonight. And I'm joined by Miss Annika running the camera here for us tonight. We're going to be able to get pretty zoomed in here. Hopefully you'll be able to see your West Prairie and Rushville players' faces a little bit better. We've got a nice camera set up here tonight in a nice good angle. We can get both sides of the court here. Pretty nice. And there is the starting buzzer. We are going to get going here pretty quickly. Caleb Hall's got the microphone here on the stage, looking to get things started. Going to give honor to our country here. right, that was the national anthem, which means we're going to be getting started here in just 1 minute. Reminder that we are supported and presented by MDH, McDonough District Hospital. McDonough District Hospital's athletic trainers and the MDH Rehabilitation Center, with locations in Bushnell and Macomb, provide expert help to Spartan and Cyclone and Rocket student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital. More than hospital care, a hospital caring. We've got the Rushville Rockets and the Cyclones in their pre-match huddles here, respectively. Going to get started in just a few minutes. Starting rotation here for your Cyclones. Number 8, Madeline Sullivan. Number 1, Kennedy Webster. Number 10, Macy Branch. Number 12, Mason Shipman. Number 6, Alexa Barkley. And number 7, Taylor Phelps. Starting rotation here for your 7th grade Rockets team. We've got number 2, Kaylee Shaw. Number 31, Becca Lewis. Number 7, Italy Ford. Number 12, Elliott Hood. Number 20, Kaylin Patterson. And number 22, Avery Esther. First serve will be for the Rockets. Here it comes from Elliott Hood. A nice receive. Pushed over the net. Returned by the Rockets here. Nice pass set by Sullivan. Hit into the net, unfortunately, for that was Taylor Phelps. Score is 1-0, Lady Rockets. Second serve here going. A nice hit in the middle. Save by the Rockets just over the net, and West Prairie's not going to get a chance to get to it before it hits the floor. Score is now 2-0 in favor of your Lady Rockets. This is Elliott Hood continually serving here. It's going to be a lift called on West Prairie. Score is now 3-0 in favor of your Lady Rockets. Here comes a serve from Hood. Hood to the back row. Nice pass. Set by Sullivan. That hit is out by Phelps. Score is now 4-0. A nice save, diving save there by number 1, Kennedy Webster. Over the net to the Rockets. A hit. Madeline Sullivan tries to save it out of the back right corner. Can't quite get to it. She tips it out of bounds. Going to be 5-0 in favor of your Cyclones. And Coach Drew Snyder is going to call a timeout here in West Prairie. Score is 5-0. We've got a 1-minute timeout here. Once again, you are watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, Community News Brief. The Community News Brief is a free publication distributed over 68 locations in Bushnell, Macomb, Colchester, Industry, Adair, and more towns throughout the area. It provides local news to McDonough County and parts of Fulton County every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. To submit a press release or get advertising information for the locally owned publication, contact Len at 309-333-8245 or email communitynewsbrief@gmail.com. Once again, here in West Prairie, your score is 5-0. Elliott Hood doing a good job serving now here for the 6th time in a row. Here comes the serve, and that's out the back. Score is now 5-1. West Prairie's first points of the match here as Abby Starbuck. That's not Abby Starbuck, that is Mason Shipman's back into the match here. Hit over by Phelps. That's going to touch the line, going to stay in. Score is now 5-2 in favor of the Rockets. Serving for West Prairie is number 10, Macy Branch. Here comes the serve. To the middle of the court on the Rockets side. Hit over the net by number 2, Kaylee Shaw, for the Rockets' 6th point here in the match. Serve coming up here for the Rockets by number 7, Italy Ford. It's going to be another lift called on the Rockets, number 31, Becca Lewis. Now back to serve for West Prairie is Taylor Phelps. That ball is going to hit the pole there on the net, going to be out of bounds. Score is 3-7 now in favor of your Lady Rockets. So here comes the serve by Lewis. A nice tip over the net by Sullivan. Sullivan tries to get that one as well, can't quite get to it. Score is now 8-3. Rockets. Here comes the serve by Lewis. That's going to be inbounds. A nice ace there from the Rockets, making your score 9-3 in the first set. Becca Lewis continuing to serve here for the Rockets. Nice pass to Madeline Sullivan, but she's in the net. Couldn't quite get to that one, had to get in the net there. And the Rockets are going to score another point, making the score 10-3. Served by Lewis to Starbuck, passing it over the net. Back to Starbuck. Barely tipped over the net by the Rockets. Going to be passed out of bounds by Shipman. Score is 11-3 here in Scioto in favor of the Rockets. Macy Branch there with the pass. Mason Shipman over the net. Sullivan saving it. Tipped over by Shipman. Sullivan, a nice hit towards the back. Saved by the Rockets. Macy Branch there in the back row. A nice set by Sullivan to Webster. Branch there, the lone member in the back row. Couldn't quite get to it. Got a substitution here for the Lady Rockets. That's number 19, Gabby Sorrell, in the game for 22, Avery Esser. Here's Phelps, passing it over, and a nice hit there by Kaylee Shaw in the middle, and Drew Snyder is going to call another timeout. Your score here is 13-3 in Scioto. Once again, thank you for tuning in. You're watching this volleyball game on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MTH. Square Music Company. Square Music Company offers instruments, gear, lessons, service, and more. Located at 122 Northside Square in Macomb. Call the Macomb store at 309-431-5484. You can also visit the Quincy location at 725 North Hampshire Street. You can also find them online at squaremusic.com. That's Square Music Company. Score is 13-3 here in Scioto. Lady Rockets have held the lead this entire time over the Lady Cyclones. And Rockets are back here to serve. Continuing to serve is number 31 for the Rockets. That's Becca Lewis. Over the net to Phelps. Nice set there by Sullivan. Rockets get it over. Starbuck there in the back lane. Webster, the hit is out. Unfortunately, making your score 3 for the Cyclones to 14 for the Rockets. Served by Lewis. Phelps, Webster, it's over. A nice job there by the Cyclones, getting it over the net, and it's going to be out on the Rockets. Score here now is 4-14. West Prairie trails by 10. Back serving for West Prairie is number 6, Alexa Barkley. That serve is going to go into the net, making your score 15-4. West Prairie now trails by 11. Got another substitution here for the Rockets. That's 15. Callie Kofall in for 31. Becca Lewis. Serve here by Kaylee Shaw. Webster tries to hit it over the net. Couldn't quite make full contact with it. And she's coming out of the game now for number 4. West Prairie, that is West Prairie here. A nice hit there. Saved by Rushville. Nice hit in the middle. West Prairie, nice job by Madeline Sullivan there. Saving the ball, hits it over the net, and the Rockets can't get to it in time. Your score is 16-5 here in Scioto. 16-5 in favor of the Rushville Industry Rockets. Back to serve for West Prairie is 36, the libero, Abby Starbuck. A nice serve right into the middle. That's going to be another lift by 20 on the Rockets, Kaylin Patterson. Starbuck serving here again. To the back right corner, tries to save it. Can't quite save it there. That was Callie Kofall for the Rockets, making your score 7-16. West Prairie on a slight comeback, now only trail by 9. Starbuck the serve. Hard serve to the front row. Madeline Sullivan tries to find some empty space with the tip. Phelps to Sullivan. Back to the middle, saved by Rushville. Phelps, Sullivan. Back serve to Macy Branch. Nice hit there, but it's recovered by the Rockets. The left there for West Prairie. Trying to hit the ball over, can't quite get it. And your score is now 7-17. West Prairie once again down by 10. Kaylin Patterson, the serve, a nice tip there by Madeline Sullivan. Sets for Webster. Webster out of bounds and going to make your score 18-7 here in Scioto. Once again, serve coming over for the Rockets. Far back right hit. That's going to be out of bounds for Rushville, making your score 18-8. Back to serve for West Prairie is Webster. Nice serve to the front row there. Alexa to Sullivan to Phelps. A nice hard hit to the back row. Rushville barely saves it to the middle. West Prairie, a nice save there by number 10. That's Macy. Nice hit there by Madeline Sullivan in the middle. She's doing a good job here tonight in this match. Your score is now 9-18. West Prairie trails by 9. Webster back to serve. Served hard into the back middle. Over. Set by Sullivan to Phelps. A nice hit. That's going to be inbounds. It hit the line, making your score 19-10. A nice hit there by Phelps. Here comes Webster with the serve. And a bad pass by the Rockets, making your score 11-18. West Prairie coming back here now, only trail by 7. The third hit, Alexa to Sullivan to Phelps. Going to be a bit too hard, just barely out of bounds. Didn't quite touch the line for the Rockets. Score is now 11-19. Serving for the Rockets is 19. That's Gabby Sorrell. Madeline Sullivan doing a good job trying to save that one there. Alexa to Sullivan, a nice tip right to the middle. No one was there. It was in between Greer and Kofald there. Couldn't quite get to it. Your score is now 12-19. West Prairie trails by 7. Madeline Sullivan serving. Nice serve by Sullivan, hard to the back middle. That's going to be an ace for Sullivan. In the middle there for the Rockets, that's Kaylin Peterson. Couldn't quite hang on to that one there. Another serve by Sullivan to Webster. Back to Sullivan to Barkley. Barkley going to be a little bit too hard. Pass that one out of bounds over the net, making your score 13-20. Got some subs here for the Rockets. And back to serve for the Rockets now is 12, Elliott Hood. She started this game off serving. She's back again. Starbuck to Webster. To Sullivan over the net. Rockets do a nice job of getting it back over. Sullivan, the set to the middle. Alexa Barkley. That's going to be in. Barely touched the line, making your score 14-20 in favor still of the Rockets, but West Prairie now only trailing by 6. 22, Avery Esther back in the game for Gabby Sorrell. Back serving for West Prairie is 10, that's Macy Branch. Barely over, Shipman tries to save it. Tips it, and Sullivan dives on the floor. Couldn't quite get to it to save it. Score is 14-21. Here now, back serving for the Rockets is 7, Italy Ford. Sullivan to Barkley, to the back row. Starbuck, set by Sullivan. Barkley hits it, nice strong hit to the back row for Rockets. Starbuck to Sullivan. Webster, set by Sullivan to Barkley. Another strong hit to the back row, saved by the Rockets. That was a nice little rally we had going there, but Kaylee Shaw can't quite save it. Looks like she's down, possibly hurt. Looks like she's okay. A little banged up. And West Prairie with the serve here once again. Scores 15-21. West Prairie still down 6. Serving for West Prairie is number 7. That is Taylor Phelps. Over, set by Barkley. Set by Sullivan. Back to Barkley. A nice hit to the middle. Saved by the Rockets, and the third pass there by Shaw goes into the net. Your score is now 16-21. West Prairie down 5. They have a chance to go on a little run here. Phelps serve to the Rockets. It's tipped over. Set by Sullivan to Webster. Webster, a nice strong hit to the back right, into the net. The Rockets there doing all they can to keep that one from touching the ground. That is the name of the game. 17-21 here. Phelps, the serve, back right. Little miscommunication there by the Rockets, and West Prairie are going on a run here. Now trail only by 3. Score is 18-21. Phelps continuing to serve. Pass by Patterson. That's Lewis in the middle. Sullivan, third hit over. Saved by Ford. Lewis with the set here. Hit by Shaw. A nice save there by, looked like Phelps, and Alexa Barkley tries to hit the ball over, goes into the net. Score is now 18-22. West Prairie's down 4. Phelps to Sullivan. To Webster, a nice strong hit to the back left. Lewis, Barkley back over the net. Sullivan resetting everything. And Phelps tries to get to it there, diving on the floor, can't quite get to it. Score is 18-23. Rushville needs 2 to win. Had a little bit of a rotation mix up there. Serving for Rushville is 31, Becca Lewis. West Prairie down 5 here, 18-23. Served by Lewis to Phelps. Starbuck. Third hit's going to be by Sullivan. A nice hit in the middle there by Kaylee Shaw, and a save by Sullivan. Once again, getting the third hit. Little miscommunication there by the Cyclones. Couldn't quite figure out whose responsibility that was. West Prairie down 6. Scores 18-24 here in the first game. The Rockets need 1 to win. Served by Lewis to Starbuck. Sullivan. Tipped over the net. Starbuck tries to save it. Can't quite get to it. That's the end of the first game here. Scores 18-25. Cyclones lost that one by 7 here in the 7th grade set, 7th grade match. Once again, you are listening to TSSR Live, presented by MDH, and we'll be right back here with some more volleyball action right after these messages.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helps me reach peak performance
in the weight room.
Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, "You better come home because there's no roof." He said, "I look up and see the sky." They didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
You see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
McDonough District Hospital's Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center was built for one goal: to strengthen women's health services in the region's premier facility. Our dedicated staff, past and present, delivered generations of MDH babies, and now in the new Women's Center, our staff is ready to deliver the next generation and beyond. Come visit the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center and see for yourself the MDH difference.
All right, and we're back here in Scioto, about to start game 2 of the 7th grade match here. West Prairie lost the first match 18-25. The Rockets went on quite a run to start the game, but then West Prairie went on their own run in the middle, but couldn't quite finish it out. West Prairie here going to be starting with the serve this time. Refs making sure the rotations are correct here. Looks like it's going to be number 10, Macy Branch, serving for the Cyclones here to start this second game off. Looks like everything is okay. And it is going to be ready to get started. All right, here's 10 Branch with the serve. Gabby Sorrell with the return there into the net. West Prairie going to start this one off 1-0. Nice serve there by Branch. Here comes the second one. Sorrell again. Webster set by Sullivan to Barkley. Almost gets blocked by Italy Ford by the Rockets, but can't quite block it. West Prairie is going to go up 2-0 here in game 2. Branch with the serve. To Sorrell. Over by Ford. Branch tries to save it and can't quite get there. Score is now 2-1. West Prairie still with the lead. Back serving for the Rockets is Chloe Greer. Greer with the serve. Out of bounds. Going to be another point for West Prairie. 3-1. Now back to serve for West Prairie. 7. That's Taylor Phelps. Phelps with the serve. Hard serve to the very back. And Shaw for the Rockets tries to save it. Bad pass. And West Prairie now leads 4-1. Back to serve once again is Phelps. Phelps with the serve. To the middle. Ford with the third hit. Can't quite get it over. That's going to be another point for West Prairie, making your score here 5-1 in game 2. If you're just now tuning in, West Prairie lost the first match 18-25, and they're leading this second match here 5-1. Served by Phelps. Ford, third hit. Too hard. That one goes out the back. Another point here for West Prairie, now leading 6-1. Phelps with the serve. Far back right to Shaw. To Horrell, that's off the ceiling, but Ford is able to save it. Madeline Sullivan to the back row, to Ford. Saved by Starbuck, she hits it over. Sorrell the tip, Sullivan the tip. And Starbuck, the libero in the back row, trying to get to that one. Can't quite get there in time. The Rockets score here in this one. Score is now 6-2 in favor of the Rockets. West Prairie here. A nice hit by Webster. Tried to get blocked by the Rockets, but they were unable to. Another point for West Prairie. Score is 7-2 here in Scioto. Back serving for the Cyclones now is 6. That's Alexa Barkley. Her serve gets over. Sort of a bad pass there by Greer. And going to be another point for West Prairie. Scores 8-2 here now in the second game. Barkley, the serve. Alexa, the save to Sullivan, to Webster with the third hit. Sorrell blocked by Sullivan. She tips it over. Phelps, the set by Sullivan, and the hit by Webster. Sails out of bounds. Going to make your score 8-3 here in the second game. Sorrell with the serve. To Webster. Phelps with the set. And Sullivan over the net. A nice hit by Sullivan there. Making your score 3 to West Prairie's 9. West Prairie leading this match by 6. Abby Starbuck now back to serve for the Cyclones. A nice serve to Ford in the middle. Going to be hit out of bounds. Score is now 10-3. Here in the second game. Abby Starbuck, a nice serve back to Ford in the middle. To a little miscommunication there. Shaw barely gets it over. It hits the net. Phelps to Sullivan. Sullivan a little bit too hard. Going to go out the back. Just making your score 10-4. West Prairie still with the lead here by 6. We're going to get a substitution. And another substitution. Serving the ball here for the Rockets is number 12, Elliott Hood, to Starbuck in the middle. Set by Sullivan. Hit by Macy Branch. A nice kill. That's going to be West Prairie's point here. Score is now 11-4. West Prairie ahead by 7. Serving for the Cyclones is Webster. Here comes. A little too short. Going to hit the net. Startled Sullivan there a little bit in the front row. Now here serving for the Rockets is 2. Kaylee Shaw. Phelps to Sullivan. Going to tip it over. Ford saves it. Lewis. Macy tries to save it. Can't quite get to it. The Rockets are going to score here again, making your score 11-6 in the second game. Back serving for Sullivan. Back serving for the Cyclones is Sullivan. A nice serve. Lewis tries to save it. Hits it out of bounds. Going to be West Prairie's point here once again. West Prairie now up 7. Score is 13-5. Must have gave the point to the wrong side there. The last one. Here comes Starbuck with the pass, set, and a nice hit by Barkley, but it's just a bit too hard, goes out of bounds. That's going to be another point for the Rockets. Score is now 13-6. West Prairie still up 7. Serving for the Rockets is 31. Back to Lewis. Phelps to Sullivan. Sullivan over the net. Rockets do a nice job of saving that one. Branch the set to Sullivan the tip. Starbuck, Sullivan, Barkley. Barkley not quite high enough, hits it right into the net. And going to be another point here for the Rockets. Score is 13-7 in the second game. Back to Lewis, the serve. Phelps tries to get to it in time. Can't quite save it. And we're going to take a timeout here. Your score in Scioto for this game 2 is 13-8. If you're just tuning in, West Prairie lost the first game 18-25, and they are leading this game 13-8, 5-point lead here in game 2 of this 7th grade match. You are watching TSSR presented by MDH. Thank you for voting McDonough District Hospital Rehabilitation Center as best of the best in McDonough County. Let their experience and dedicated sports medicine and rehabilitation staff show you why MDH has been voted best of the best in 2017, 2018, 2019, and once again in 2020. 3 convenient locations to serve you, 2 in Macomb and 1 in Bushnell. That's MDH, McDonough District Hospital. More than hospital care, a hospital caring. We're back here with the volleyball action in Scioto. Going to be the Rockets serve here. Number 31 back to serve for the Rockets is Becca Lewis. Here comes the serve. Phelps to Sullivan. Back to Phelps. A nice little maneuver there. The Rockets barely save it and end up getting it over. Barkley to Sullivan. Set behind her back to Macy Branch. A nice hit over. Ford. Sullivan saves it. Lewis to Ford over the net. Webster. Sullivan. Phelps. A nice hit, but it's saved by the Rockets. Webster. Sullivan. Phelps. That little combo there once again. Tries to get saved by 31 for the Rockets. That's Becca Lewis. Can't quite get there in time, and West Prairie's going to side out, making your score 14-8. Hope I used that term correctly. Side out. Here comes the serve for West Prairie. Macy Branch, serve, a little short, hits the net. Here is 14-9. West Prairie up by 5. Here comes the serve by 10. That's Chloe Greer for the Rockets. A nice little tip there by Madeline Sullivan. Nobody on the other side was paying attention. And West Prairie takes the lead by 6. A good job there. Nice awareness by Madeline Sullivan. Here comes the serve by Phelps. Set by Ford. Hit by Hood. Set by Sullivan. A left-handed hit by Mason Shipman. That was a nice little hit there. Score is 16-9. Coach Drew Snyder offering Mason Shipman $1,000 if she can do that again. Here comes Taylor Phelps with the serve. Gonna make contact with Madeline Sullivan. Drew Snyder, their coach there, calling that an interesting little strategy, hitting your own teammate with the serve. Here comes a serve by Ford. Barkley, set by Sullivan. Over the net by Shipman, a little bit too hard. It's going to be out. Point goes to the Rockets here. Score is 16-11. Serve by Ford. Phelps to Sullivan. To Webster, a nice hit. Saved by the Rockets, set by Ford. Over the net there by Patterson. Set by Sullivan. Webster, nice hit there. A pass into the net. They both, Rockets players, try to get to that one. Can't quite get to it. West Prairie now going to take the lead 17-11. Up by 6. Here's Barkley with the serve. Nice serve there. Shipman into the net. Madeline Sullivan. Nice hit into the back row. Tipped off the hands of the Lady Rockets. Going to be 18-11 here. West Prairie still ahead by 7. Here comes a serve by Barkley. The Rockets miscommunication. Ball drops, and West Prairie now leads by 8. Score is 19-11. Barkley continuing to serve. Rockets are able to get it over. Here's Phelps to Sullivan to Shipman. Shipman, a little bit too hard there. Out the back. Going to be Rockets point. Back serving for the Rockets is 22. That's Avery Esther. Sullivan, the set to Webster. Webster hits it over. Forward to the hit by Kofall. West Prairie gets it back over. Here's Kofall again. Phelps, Sullivan, Webster into the net. Can't quite get it over. That's going to be another point for the Rockets. Rockets here now only trail by 6. Another substitution. We've got 31, Becca Lewis, back into the game for 15, Callie Kofall. Here comes the serve from Esther. Webster. Sullivan hits it right over. Back to West Prairie. Phelps. Sullivan again. Into the net. That's going to be another point for West Prairie. West Prairie here. Now 20-13. They have a 7-point lead. And 10, Macy Branch is going to come in for Mason Shipman. Here comes Abby Starbuck serving. Nice serve by Starbuck to Ford. Into the net. Rockets can't quite get to it. Score is 21-13. West Prairie now leads by 8. Here's Starbuck. Nice serve to Ford. Scramble in the middle for the Rockets. Webster to Sullivan. Webster again. Rockets getting the ball over. Miscommunication by West Prairie. There's a hole in the middle. Point for the Rockets. Score is now 21-14. In the game now is 4. That's McCurdy. Serve. Here's Phelps to Sullivan to Branch. A hit into the net there by Greer. Going to be another point for West Prairie. West Prairie now at 22-14. Here's McCurdy with the serve. West Prairie needs 3 to win this game 2. Here comes the serve. A nice hit there by Madeline Sullivan. She takes advantage of the pass there by Greer. West Prairie now at 23. Need 2 to win. McCurdy with the serve. Ford, Lewis to Phelps. Sullivan back across. Finds a hole in the Rockets defense, and West Prairie now goes up by 10. Score is 24-14. West Prairie needs 1 to win. Here comes the serve. An ace here would be huge. Starbuck, Barkley, Sullivan over the net. Rockets, bad pass, out of bounds, and West Prairie here is going to take game 2. A little recap. West Prairie lost the first match 18-25, and they won this first match 25-14. The set is tied up at 1 game apiece. Once again, you're tuning into TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH, and we'll be right back with the 3rd game of this set right after this.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
McDonough District Hospital's Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center was built for one goal: to strengthen women's health services in the region's premier facility. Our dedicated staff, past and present, delivered generations of MDH babies, and now in the new Women's Center, our staff is ready to deliver the next generation and beyond. Come visit the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center and see for yourself the MDH difference.
As we work together to stop the spread of COVID-19, McDonough District Hospital wants you to know that your health and safety are our #1 priority.
Our primary care providers are here to take care of you and your family's total well-being. Telehealth capabilities and the MDH Convenience Clinic all provide ease of access to our wide range of services.
All of this because we are committed to providing you quality and compassionate care that you have come to trust from us.
McDonough District Hospital, more than hospital care, a hospital caring.
Get dinner to the table quickly, no matter how busy your day's been. True Convection Cooking uses a fan to distribute hot air evenly and cook food faster. So dinner is ready when they are. True Convection Cooking, brought to you by Whirlpool.
All right, we're back here in Scioto. Thanks for tuning in to TSSR Game Time Live. About to start game number 3 for the 7th grade matchup between the Cyclones and the Rockets. The Rockets took the first game, 25-18. The Cyclones took the second game, 25-14. And we're going to see what happens here in the third game. Madeline Sullivan doing a good job for West Prairie, being the setter. Setting up a lot of nice plays for West Prairie. Serve is going to be serve coming in. Not sure which side. Gonna be Rockets serving. 12. Elliot Hood starting out the match here, serving once again. Nice serve here by Hood. Looked like it might have been out of bounds, but it stays in. Abby Starbuck did a good job. You see the ball coming at your head, it's probably out. That one, an exception to the rule. Scores here 1-0 in favor of the Rockets. Starbuck to Sullivan, to Barkley. Bit too hard, flies out of bounds, and the score is now 2-0. Here comes the serve by Hood. Phelps there. Thought it was Chipman, but it's Phelps there, the pass. Couldn't quite get underneath it, hits it out of bounds, out the left side. Here, once again, score is 3-0. Once again, here serving is Elliot Hood. Phelps to Sullivan. Back to Phelps. Push there into the middle. Lewis to Shaw. Shaw just barely over the net and finds a hole in the West Prairie defense. Drew Snyder's going to call a timeout to talk with his team about what just happened. You're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MTH. Community News Brief. The Community News Brief is a free publication distributed over 68 locations in Bushnell, Macomb, Colchester, Industry, Adair, and more towns throughout the surrounding area. It provides local news to McDonough County and parts of Fulton County every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. To submit a press release or get advertising information for the locally owned publication, contact Lynn at 309-333-8245 or email communitynewsbrief@gmail.com. Back to the action here is the serve by Hood. Phelps to Sullivan. Back to Phelps. Little miscommunication there. West Prairie is able to save it. Italy forward, back over the net. Set by Sullivan. Here comes the hit by Barkley to the back row. Sullivan saves that one. Starbuck over the net. Nice job. Lewis to Ford. Rushville can't quite save that one. West Prairie is going to side out and make your score 1-4 here so far in the third game. Abby Starbuck in the lime green. with the serve. Looks like it might have been out, but Rushville tries to play that ball and can't quite get to it, making your score 2-4 in favor of the Rockets. Here comes the third serve by Starbuck. That one a little bit short. Going to be Rushville's point. Score is now 2-5. West Prairie behind by 3. Serving for the Rockets is Italy Ford. West Prairie gets it over the net. Here's Lewis to Shaw. That's the 4th hit, and that's against the rules. West Prairie here gonna take the point, making your score 3-5 here in Scioto for Game 3 of the 7th grade match. Nice serve there by Phelps. Rockets can't quite get the ball back over. Score is now 4-5. West Prairie only down 1. Here's a serve by Phelps. Little miscommunication there by the Rockets. Lewis gets it over the net, though. Here's Barkley to Sullivan. Sullivan back to Barkley. Saved by the Rockets. Back over the net by Shaw. Shaw hits it right into the net. Doesn't quite get it over. Tying the game up here 5-5. Phelps continuing to serve. Shaw once again. Starbuck to Sullivan. Sullivan gets it over. Back over the net to Barkley. That's going to stay in bounds. And a nice point there for West Prairie. West Prairie now taking the lead for the first time in this Game 3, as it is 6-5. Phelps with the serve. Deep back row. A third hit attempt by Shaw. Can't quite get it over the net. Another point for West Prairie, making your score 7-5. West Prairie up by 2. The Rushville coach is going to take a timeout here now. Once again, you are listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, McDonough District Hospital. McDonough District Hospital athletic trainers and the MDH Rehabilitation Center, with locations in Bushnell and Macomb, provide expert help to Cyclone student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athlete injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than a hospital care, a hospital caring. Back to the game here in Scioto. The set is tied 1-1. West Prairie losing the first game, but taking the second game. And they're leading this third game here, 7-5. Going to be Phelps serving for West Prairie. Here comes Phelps. Shaw over the net. Starbuck to Sullivan. Hit by Webster. Touches the net but gets over. Shaw back to West Prairie. Phelps, Sullivan, Barkley. Soft hit, tries to find a hole in the defense. Can't find one. Back row, Starbuck. A tip by Sullivan. Nice hit over by Shaw. Phelps, saved by Sullivan. Third hit back by Phelps. Looks like it could have been out, but Rockets decide not to take the chance and play it. Sullivan finding the short corner, but it's going to be called out there by the ref. Point to the Rockets. Score is 7-6 here in Game 3. Served by Lewis. Tried to save by Phelps. Couldn't quite get to it. Tying the game up here, 7-7. This is a close one, folks. So far here. Served by Lewis. Barkley to Sullivan. Finds a hole in the middle of the Rockets defense. Nice little play there by Madeline Sullivan. Nice awareness. Able to find the spot where the defenders are not. Some subs here for the Rockets. 19, that's Sorrell. And 15, that's Kofal. Here comes the serve by Barkley. High serve to Sorrell. Play on the net. She's in the net. That is number 20, Kaylin Peterson. West Prairie's going to score a point there. It's making your score 9-7. West Prairie up by 2. Here's Barkley. Barkley into the net. Score is 9-8 now. West Prairie still holding on to the lead, but now only by 1. Back to serve for the Rockets is Shaw. Shaw, nice serve to Webster. Webster to Sullivan, tip over. Sullivan, another hit, saved by the Rockets and pushed over by Sorrell. Sullivan, a third time. This time finds the hole in the middle. A nice play there by Madeline Sullivan. She's doing a good job of staying aware and finding the holes in the Rockets' defense. Back to serve for West Prairie now is 12. That's Mason Shipman. Here comes Shipman, out of bounds. Going to give the Rockets there another point. Score is 10-9. West Prairie still up by 1. Back serving for the Rockets now is 20. That's Patterson. Starbuck to Sullivan, tipped over, finds another hole in the Rockets' defense. Score is 11-9 now here. As McCurdy's going to come in for Webster. McCurdy serving for West Prairie here. Scores 11-9. Ford saves it. Starbuck. Sullivan hit by Phelps. Pushed over. Italy Ford back over the net to West Prairie. Barkley. Sullivan. Phelps. Ford again playing that middle in the defense. Hit by Ford. Starbuck to Sullivan. Phelps again. Back row. Saved by Shaw. That's Sorrell. Play at the net. That was 12. Elliott Hood couldn't quite get it over. And West Prairie's going to score once again. Now has a 3-point lead here. The score is 12-9. Here's McCurdy with the serve. Nice serve by McCurdy. Hood at the net. Barkley, Sullivan to Branch, back right corner, saved by the Rockets. Here's Phelps to Sullivan, back to Phelps, hit off her back foot there. Ford hits the ball over to Starbuck, to Sullivan, a nice tip, back to Starbuck. Sullivan, behind her head to Branch, tries to find a hole in the middle of the defense. Nice defense by Italy Ford so far on this rally. Ford once again saving the ball. Here's Sullivan to Phelps. That's going to stay inbounds. A nice hit there by Phelps to give West Prairie the point. That was a great rally there by both sides. Italy Ford, namely for the Rockets, doing a great job playing defense in the middle there. Also a nice hit by Taylor Phelps. Here comes a serve by McCurdy. To Ford. To Hood. Back to Ford. A block at the net by Sullivan and Branch. Sorrell here. Barkley to Sullivan. Hit by Phelps. Back row. Saved. Hood. Back to Shaw. Bad pass by Phelps. The Rockets are going to side out here. They trail by 3. Score is 13-10. We've got another substitution here for West Prairie. That's Webster back in for McCurdy. Here comes Sorrell with the serve. Webster to Sullivan to Branch. Hit, looks like it could have been out. Shaw saves it. Italy Ford back to Webster to Sullivan. Tries to find that same hole. She's been hitting that all game, but she pushes it a little bit too hard and it flies out of bounds. Score is 13-11. West Prairie lead now only by 2. Here's Sorrell with the serve. Looks short. Macy Branch to Italy Ford. Starbuck, Sullivan, Phelps. Looks like it rolls off of Phelps' fingers and goes out of bounds once again. Your score is now 13-12. West Prairie only up 1. Here's Sorrell with the serve. A little bit short into the net. Bad serve makes West Prairie score here. Score is 14-12. We've got another substitution here. That's Avery Esther in for Sorrell. Here comes Sullivan's serve. Nice serve to the back row to Esther. Bad pass to Shaw. Wasn't quite ready for it there, didn't look like. Here comes Sullivan. Once again with the serve. Here's Hood to Ford. Starbuck, Sullivan. Barkley, a nice hit in the middle. Saved by Patterson. To Hood, that is an illegal lift on the Rockets, making your score 16-12. West Prairie now up 4. Another serve by Sullivan. Rockets need to side out right here if they want a chance to stay in this game. Here's Italy Ford. Over to the net to Sullivan. Ford once again. Webster. Sullivan. Barkley. To Patterson. Esther. Short pass to Hood. Can't quite get it over the net with the backwards pass there. Score is now 17-12. West Prairie leads by 5. Another serve here by Sullivan, who's going on a run. Here's Webster to Sullivan to Phelps. Nice job there. Here's Lewis to Ford. Back over the net. Miscommunication in the back row between Abby Starbuck and Webster. In the game for West Prairie now is Shipman and McCurdy. Serving for the Rockets is 12. That's Hood. McCurdy can't quite get to it. And Webster and Starbuck are going to come back in to the game. West Prairie lead now only at 3. Score is 17-14. Here comes the serve by Hood. Miscommunication once again in the back row. Webster and Starbuck. Coach Snyder is going to take a timeout after this one and talk to his team about what just happened. West Prairie only ahead by 2. Score is 17-15. Once again, you're listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. The Square Music Company. The Square Music Company offers instruments, gear, lessons, service, and more. Located at 122 Northside Square in Macomb. Call the Macomb store at 309-431-5484, or you could also visit the Quincy location at 725 North Hampshire Street. You can also find them online at squaremusic.com. Once again, you're listening to TSSR Game Time Live. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to this third game between the West Prairie Cyclones and the Rushville Rockets. West Prairie up by only 2, score 17-15. Here's Hood with the serve. Hit too hard, sails out of bounds behind Webster and Starbuck. Starbuck is serving. Shipman in for Branch. Coach Snyder calling for a lineup check, wants to make sure all of his players are in the right spot. Doesn't want to mess up. Here's Starbuck. Hard serve to the back row for Rushville. Saved by Italy Ford. Here's Phelps to Sullivan. Back to Phelps. A nice push to that same spot. Here's Webster. Sullivan. Phelps again. Bad pass by Avery Esther. Her teammates can't quite get to it. That is another point for West Prairie. Score is 19-15. West Prairie up 4 now. Here's Starbuck once again with a serve. That one way too hard. Flies out of the back. Going to be 19-16 here. West Prairie leads only by 3. Italy Ford serving. Far to the back row. Here's Webster to Sullivan to Shipman. Back to Ford. Patterson, Lewis, Webster, Phelps, Sullivan over the net. Back to the Rockets defense. Here's Shaw with the hit over, finds a little hole in the West Prairie defense. Sullivan tries to get to it, can't quite. West Prairie down. West Prairie up here, only by 2. Scores 19-17. Here's the serve by Ford. That one a bit too hard, and it's out. Score is 20-17. Coach Snyder trying to figure out the placement of his players. Talking to his players about the issue here and what the ref is trying to talk to them about. West Prairie up 20-17. Set is tied at 1 game apiece for each of these teams. Whoever wins this one takes the cake. Here's the serve by Phelps. Lewis, Shaw, Phelps, Sullivan to Barkley. Blocked at the net and tried to get saved by Kaylin Patterson, but it flies out of bounds. Score is now 21-17. West Prairie needs 4 to win. They lead by 4. Here is the serve by Phelps. Hood, Shaw to Sullivan. Nice save. Hood, Lewis, Patterson to Starbuck. Sullivan, Webster thought about the hit, couldn't get there in time. Here's Sullivan. Back to Barkley now. Strong hit to the back row. Can't return that one. West Prairie is going to score once again. Score is now 22-17. West Prairie leads by 5. Here is Phelps serving once again. Shaw hits it over the net. Phelps to Sullivan to Webster. Here's Rushville now. A nice tip over the net. Shaw hit back to Phelps. Was caught off guard there on her back foot. And Rushville is able to side out. Now we have Sorrell in 4. Esther. Rushville going to need to go on quite a run here to get back in this one. Score is 22-2, now 19. West Prairie still up by 3, but a little miscommunication there. Let's Rockets score another point. Here's Lewis with the serve to the middle with Phelps. Sorrell finds a hole in the middle of the West Prairie defense. Scores now 22-20. Rushville on a little bit of a comeback here. Still down 2. Lewis serve again. Here it comes. To Phelps. Phelps, bad pass. Saved by Sullivan, though. To Shipman. Nice play there by West Prairie trying to save that one. That's going to get out of bounds. West Prairie is going to get the point there. Score is 23-20. West Prairie up by 3. Here in the game is 22. That's Janelle Heaton. Sullivan over 2 Rushville players tripping over one another. Sorrell tries to save it, can't quite get it. That's going to be West Prairie's ball. Score is 24-20. West Prairie needs 1 point to win. This is the 3rd match. If West Prairie scores here, they will take this set. Going to call a timeout here for the last point of the game. Once again, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to TSSR Game Time Live here on YouTube, presented by MDH. Once this game is over, this stream will be ending, but we'll be starting another stream right back up. Same place, same channel. We'll be right back after a quick intermission in between the games. But right now we're back here for game 3 of the 7th grade game. Here's Heaton with the serve. Over the net to Italy Ford. Saved by Shaw. passed out of bounds. West Prairie is going to take this set number 1 and win the 7th grade matchup here. A nice job by the West Prairie Cyclones 7th grade team here as they win this one in Scioto. Once again, you're listening to TSSR Game Time Live. We'll be right back here once the 8th grade games start up in just a few minutes. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching West Prairie take home the dub in this one.